Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to the first episode of Maritime Wrestling News. Here are your top stories. Tonight I'm going to be focusing on what's coming up in the maritime wrestling scene here in the next couple of months. So let's just go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start with IHW. IHW has got quite a few shows here coming up. The major ones that have been announced so far that actually have stuff to talk about would be their shows in Moncton, Fredericton, and Truro. First of all, let's talk about the Moncton show. The Moncton show is March 31st at the Moncton's Lions Club. The matches announced so far are for the IHW television title will be James Liberty defending it against Julian Young. And the main event that night will be the IHW heavyweight champion Titus will be defending versus international superstar Marcus Burke. Now, these two have met in the past. They are not strangers to each other, so we are definitely guaranteed to have a great match. The interesting thing about this match is what the implications of it are going to be the next night in Fredericton. Now, the next night in Fredericton, the main event has been announced. It would be Brody Steele going one-on-one with Marcus Burke. Now, we are all aware of Marcus and Brody Steele's past. They've had a rivalry for the last year or so that I would parallel with any rivalry going on in the world right now. Now, if Marcus Burke wins the title in Moncton, does that make Brody Steele the number one contender? It's not me to say. Does that mean Brody Steele gets a title match in Fredericton? That's not for me to say. That is for IHW matchmaker Shano to make that decision. But regardless, that match is going to be amazing. Now, if it was for the IHW heavyweight title, I think it might even make it that much better. But moving on to the Truro show, it will be right here in Truro, Nova Scotia, where I'm at now, and actually in the building that I'm in, the Acala Cadenda Truro. It's going to be the second year in a row that IHW's come to Truro. It's also the first time in this building, so it's going to be an action-packed night. No matches have been announced yet, but I am proud to announce that you will see the IHW heavyweight champion, if he is the champion at the time, Titus, Brody Steele, Marcus Burke, the members of Exile, and the list goes on and on. So Truro, that is going to be a great show to be at, and I think it's going to be a great night of action. Now, I will make sure that everybody knows the matches as they are announced. Switching gears now, I want to talk about the wrestling scene in Halifax. There are some shows coming up here in the next couple of months in the city, and definitely want to touch on those. First of all, March 23rd. Thursday, March 23rd, we will see Wrestle Center return to the Halifax Forum. That night will be headlined by ECW original, former WWE Hardcore champion Tommy Dreamer, and he will be going one-on-one in a Hardcore Tables match with Matt Bullen. No other matches that I'm aware have been announced for that show. But keep your eye on the Wrestle Center Facebook page. They are constantly updating the cards, so definitely a show to go to. Also going on in Halifax on April 29th is the anniversary show for UCW Wrestling, Ultimate Championship Wrestling. That card is stacked, to say the least. Matches going on that night are, for example, the TLC match between Sabotage and the Dark Side Express, Brody Steele versus Steve Arsenault for the Maritime Heavyweight Championship, as with David Boyce as the special referee, and the list goes on and on. We will be having a special episode of Maritime Wrestling News as we are getting closer to that show. So not only can I go over the card as a whole, but I can give you insight on what's been going on, the in and outs of all the matches. So that will be coming soon. But tonight, I definitely want to focus on one or two matches in particular of that event. One being the main event, which is Marcus Burke defending the UCW World Heavyweight Championship against Halifax's own JP Sims. The other match I want to touch on is for the Maritime Heavyweight Championship, Steve Arsenault versus Brody Steele, with Dave Boyce as the guest referee. So let's start with the main event, which is Marcus Burke defending the UCW Heavyweight Championship against JP Sims. There's been a lot of JP Sims is a former UCW Heavyweight Champion. Marcus Burke has held that title for going on 6 months or maybe more, close to a year. So these two, there's no love lost. There's been heat between these two individuals for years. So this is definitely going to be a barn burner. One thing that I think is important to mention is that these are two Maritime-produced performers. These two are both from the Maritimes, and they are the main event. That is huge, especially with who's on the card. Which something I need to mention, that people who are on this card, this UCW card, are Ryback, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, the Monster, TNA Superstar, the Monster Abyss. And so the names are unreal. But the main event is a Maritime boy versus a Maritime boy. So if you're a Maritime wrestling fan, this is the match you need to go to pay your ticket to see. We need to be proud of our Maritime boys who are headlining this card. Now let's move on to the match that everybody's been talking about. That would be Steve Arsenault versus Brody Steele to name the first UCW Maritime Heavyweight Champion. This match was announced at the last UCW show. Steve Arsenault attacked UCW General Manager Dave Boyce because Dave Boyce made some mistakes. Steve felt like he was being mistreated. So this match was announced. After this match was announced, Steve had some comments for New Scott. So let's see what Steve had to say.
Steve, I got a question about Brody Steele.
What? Where?
Your match on April 29th at the 10th anniversary UCW shows against Brody Steele. What do you think?
What do you think? Why? Did he say anything? I think he's great. I mean, I don't think he has anything to... Oh, there's a car coming. That might be him. No, it's the ring truck. No, I have nothing bad to say. It's not my fault. I didn't make it happen. Listen, I gotta go for totally unrelated reasons.
But Steve, come on.
Oh.
I don't know about any of you, but Steve Arsenault does not look happy about facing Brody Steele at the UCW anniversary show on April 29th. But UCW General Manager Dave Boyce did release a video a few weeks ago announcing a special stipulation to that match to avoid any more confusion and hopefully avoid some more frustration on Steve Arsenault's part. This is what Dave Boyce had to say.
As the GM of UCW, I have to be objective. Steve Arsenault, you've come into the ring, you have attacked other wrestlers, you've verbally attacked Chuck Martin, you've physically attacked me. Now, as time has gone by, I have realized your frustrations. You're frustrated because you feel you were taken out of the UCW Heavyweight Championship picture. You feel frustrated because you think I rang the bell prematurely. I've stated that I accidentally hit it. You didn't believe me. Out of your frustrations, you attacked me. You feel frustrated that you were put into this match with Brody Steele on April 29th at the 10th anniversary UCW event for this Maritime Heavyweight Championship. I know you're frustrated. So, after consideration, we want to make sure that nothing happens in your match to make you frustrated any longer. Therefore, in your match with Brody Steele on April 29th, we will have 2 referees. One in the ring calling the match, and one outside of the ring to make sure nothing happens. Now, that special referee for your match with Brody Steele is me.
It seems to me that Dave Boyce and UCW management are doing everything they can to make sure this match is called right down the middle, and that we can cleanly name a new UCW Maritime Heavyweight Champion. But in my personal opinion, Steve Arsenault does not seem to have the odds on his side. Even if you take away his frustration and the issues that happened with Dave Boyce and the special referee stipulation, all that aside, Steve Arsenault still has stepped foot with the 7-foot-tall, 300-pound monster Brody Steele. Brody Steele is an unreal opponent and an intimidating figure on his own, and if you add all the other stresses Steve Arsenault has on his back right now, it might make it hard for him to win that championship. But we all know how resourceful Steve Arsenault is, so it's going to be an interesting one. Well, everybody, thank you to join us for this first edition of Maritime Wrestling News. Stay tuned for more episodes so I can keep you informed on what's going on with Maritime Wrestling. You enjoy Maritime Wrestling, go out and support the boys. Thank you very much.